This place is cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Also make sure to follow me on Letterboxd. Just look for Old Man Brad so you can see all my watches. If you want to take part in Tubi watches every week, follow me over on Blue Sky, Old Man Brad. This week is going to be a crazy filled week. We have 2 episodes coming out this week, both movies from Cineverse. So we're going to have a Cineverse kind of week. The first one that we have for you today is the new movie Pig Hill. And this is a film that I watched as part of Fright Fest over the summer. So I saw this in August, and it is hitting VOD this week. So you can go rent it on your favorite digital platform. Directed by Kevin Lewis, who also directed the Willy's Wonderland movie with Nicolas Cage. I had the chance to connect with Kevin, and we talked about Pig Hill. You know, he's a fellow Denver Broncos fan. Go Broncos. Excited about that. We did talk a little bit about the Broncos off mic. I'm excited for you to hear my chat with Kevin Lewis. But before we dive into that, if you are in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the 3rd Friday of the month. I'm thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to host a horror screening once a month. And our screening for December, on December 19th, is Silent Night, Deadly Night. The original film from 1984. The remake comes out this week. Go watch the new one. Go come out to the Esquire next week. See that with me. But December 19th, 10 p.m., let's watch a movie together. Let's take a trip to Pig Hill.
Nothing up here after dark except trouble.
They say they use this radio tower to signal their home world.
I need to get rid of it. Now.
It's still alive! It's still alive!
We've gone red. I'm going in. God, it's coming. The baby's coming.
Carrie has been fascinated by the local legend of the pig people of Pig Hill, revolting creatures who breed and cause havoc in the area. As the 10th woman goes missing, Carrie can't stop thinking that there could be more to these stories. It's directed by Kevin Lewis and written by Jared Burris, all from the book Pig, a supernatural thriller from Nancy Williams. And this is an urban legend story about the people of Pig Hill in Meadville, Pennsylvania. It stars Shiloh Fernandez, Rainey Qualley, Shane West, and many others. As I said, it comes out on digital the day this drops this week. You know, I'll dive a little bit more into it after our interview, but I like this movie. It's dark, gritty. It doesn't hold back. And knowing that it's based off of an urban legend, I think kind of hits it a little harder. It was also filmed out in Meadville in Pennsylvania, filmed in the area, you know, locals as extras, everything else. But I enjoyed this movie. I watched it back as part of Fright Fest in August, and then I just rewatched it before I talked to Kevin. It is a dark, honestly, parts of it, it's kind of crazy. I'll dive more into that on the other side of the interview. Let's go ahead and jump into my chat with Kevin Lewis, and I will talk to you on the other side. My guest today has directed such films as The Accursed, Oak, and even left Nicolas Cage speechless in Willy's Wonderland. His new film, Pig Hill, takes you on a dark journey into the legend of the pig people of Pig Hill. I'm excited to welcome in director Kevin Lewis. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Brad. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. So this movie is based off of an urban legend in Meadville, Pennsylvania, about these pig people. I mean, you even filmed it out there. What attracted you to this project?
Well, I love that it was, based on a book that Nancy Williams wrote called Pig. And I love that it was an urban legend, that it was real, and the idea that we're going to go to this location where the book takes place, and the pig people have been talked about for decades on these stories. I was like, I'm very intrigued, and I really like the idea of the Carrie character and going through her POV of the movie, the story, and then I like the MacGuffin in a way of the pig people, and the third act really threw me for a loop, which I was like, okay, now I'm really want to do this movie.
How did it go filming out there in Meadville, Pennsylvania? Filming where this whole urban legend takes place.
I mean, that was great. I mean, the producer had all the locations, and it was like a back lot of a studio. The bars over here, the police are, so you're just walking over here, shooting over here. We did the cages in a abandoned swimming pool in a church, and it was across the street. So it was like a back lot. It was like you're just going over here, but you're making the movie look as big as possible on scale, the painting the canvas that way. So, what was interesting too was going to these bars and having like the milk carton pictures, Xerox pictures of women missing, they're on the doors. That's true. So it's like this woman's, and it's a small town. And so I can understand, I was like, what's going on here? Well, I can understand this legend of the pig people a little bit. So everybody was excited, the townspeople were great. And a lot of them are extras in the movie and just welcomed us with open arms.
I mean, obviously you probably talked to a lot of those townspeople there, like getting their insights of their side of this legend.
Yeah, they grew up with it, and everybody had different ideas about it, which I thought was so interesting. So I try to weave that in the script and in the movie. It's what you think and what's really happening. And it was just exciting to play with that. What you think is going on, maybe it's not, or maybe it is, so.
Don't want to give anything away, obviously, to kind of, we want people to go check out the movie.
Exactly.
And your cast, Rainey Qualley, Shane West, Shiloh Fernandez, just to name a few. How did you get not only them involved, but kind of, especially Rainey Qualley, taking her on this just dark journey through this film?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great casting director, Dustin Blackburn, and he recommended some of these actors to me, and all of them were just great. I met Shane like a year before that, and I was just like, we got to work together. He was just really cool. And Rainey, she read for the part, loved what she did, talked to her, she got the book, just really connected. Shiloh was amazing. I mean, he was like, I didn't know if he'd want to do it, and it's a very dark part, but he committed to it, and they all brought their A game. It was just really cool. We're all on the same page on making that movie.
It's a very dark, kind of gritty, I mean, just a dark story in general. How'd you go about to kind of lighten the mood a little bit on set? So it wasn't everybody just like, oh man, we're in this dark place all the time.
I really believe in a happy set. I believe in good vibes, good energy. It's like, yeah, we're telling this dark story. We're going through these things, but it's still a movie. We're not method acting, in a way. I mean, if that works for somebody, great. But it's like, especially with the crew, it's like, you got to keep it light, so you kind of, even, making, the Kirsten Willies too, there's some crazy stuff going on in those movies, right? So you're always just like, we gotta, lighten the mood. So I always believe in a happy set. I always believe in, we're just making a movie, we're having a good time, and here's the text, here's what we're trying to do, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this is just play. We're playing here. And but everyone has a job to do with the crew. It's like their job's very serious, right? We got to get the shot, we got to get it in focus, and the lighting and all that. And it's like the production design, all of it. So I take that very seriously, but I like when we get along, everybody is good vibes and just enjoying it,
And you just mentioned, getting lighting. Some of my favorite pieces of this film are the lighting. The use of colored lighting, backlighting with silhouettes, especially like this one scene with the car and the headlights. Can you speak to kind of setting that look of the movie?
Yeah. So, there was this cinematic realism that I wanted to bring. So it was like a true detective, true crime movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like she's figuring out the pig people, working on her book, all that. Then there was and that was like a lot of the day exteriors or date in the or the scenes that take place in the day. But then there's the phantasmic of it, right? There's the world building, the what's real, what's not, the surrealism, right? And so that was very different. So that was want to bring like a giallo vibe to that, the old Italian horror cinema. Make it, again, build the world, build the aesthetic. And what better way to do that is the color, bringing in the reds, and, but you don't have that. You have more of an amber, like sepia tone on some of the other more real shots of what's going on. And then you start bringing in the color palette and really cranking it up and going a little more extreme. And that's why I love horror movies, right? Because it's the aesthetic. If we're doing a rom-com, it's kind of hard to do that, right? But with a horror movie, and again, I always believe like the scenes, they have to dictate that, right? You just don't do, oh, it's a cool shot. It's like, no, what's going on with the characters and the plot and everything. But with horror, it allows you to do those kind of things. And so that was what was really also exciting to do this film.
As you were creating this, dark story, what were some of your biggest challenges as you were kind of going through it?
The weather was really cold and rainy. There was a part where the crew and somebody like begging, like, can we just stop? Because it was so freaking cold. We had some hiccups in some of the crew, and we were down for a couple days, and it was like I think at the end of the day, it was like getting the spirit of that because you really touched on it. We're doing this dark material, and it's very gloomy. And so sometimes that does kind of seep in, so always trying to stay focused and stay the course. And for me, I'm always trying to be inspired every time I hit the set. I listen to music. I was listening to Cure a lot on making this movie, one of my favorite bands, and their whole melancholy, beautiful melancholy. And that's kind of what I wanted for this film.
Okay. Once, everything's said and done, this premiered at Fright Fest in London and also played here in Ohio at Nightmares. How have crowds kind of responded to it?
Oh, the Nightmares was cool. I mean, that's a great festival you guys have. Fright Fest was fantastic. That was awesome. People loved it. I mean, they were coming out and just like, wow, they didn't expect what it was. And it's kind of cool in the fact, like, I did Willie's, so everyone's like, okay, here's another Willie's. And like, yeah, it has a little the aesthetic of Willie's maybe, but it's not the story. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different aspects of that and people thinking it's one thing and it's something else. And that was fun.
I watched it during that time of Fright Fest, and I wasn't expecting what I got. That's for sure. Like, I was expecting, okay, it's going to be this horror movie. I was thinking the same thing, Willy's Wonderland kind of thing. But I was like, oh, this is much darker, much grittier, much just really get you in there.
As an artist or a filmmaker, you're always trying to stretch your bounds and trying to do something different, and it's like, I did Willy's, so it's like a lot of projects come to me and it's got that thing, and it's like, okay, but there's so many other things, and I'm a big fan of drama and dramatic, like, character interactions and what's going on, and really high stakes. And so what better than do is the Pig Hill, right? There's some pretty high stakes in this.
Yeah, there are for sure. And now, I mean, it's coming out to the rest of the world. Everybody will get a chance to see it. What do you hope that audiences in general kind of take away from it?
I think it's a movie that, what I really hope is like, it's a movie where it kind of sticks with you, good or bad, if you like it or not. If you see the movie, you'll always remember it. That to me, I feel is the best thing, because if someone's like, hey, did you see Pig Hill? Oh yeah, that movie, I hated that movie. But well, okay, great. It's stuck, I'm living in your brain a little bit, right? The movie's living rent free in the brain. So that's kind of what I'd like, or I loved it, or whatever. But it's like, I think we're in such an era now of just I call it empty calories, where you see something and it just, disappear, the next one, and someone says something like, you see that movie? What? I mean, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas movies before used to stick with you. You'd see David Lynch's Mulholland Drive and you're like, whoa, Twin Peaks, things like that. So it would be great if a movie like Pig Hill just stuck with people a little bit.
I think there's some stuff that could, because even on a rewatch, because I had to rewatch before this, because, it'd been a few months. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh yes, this. Now I remember. Now I remember.
That's good. Cool.
Well, we're coming up towards the end here, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to chat with me. Where can people kind of follow along to you to see not only more on Pig Hill, but kind of what you have coming next?
I mean, I'm on Instagram, so it's a Kevin Lewis official. It'd be great. You can follow me there. Got some movies coming up. I've got a movie called Misdirection that's coming up. It's like a crime noir thriller that's going to be hopefully released here real soon in the first quarter of the new year. It's with Frank Grillo and Olga Kurylenko, Oliver Trevania. And then I've got a movie called Oak. That's a horror, like a teen horror. It's pretty cool. That's going to come out soon. And I'm working on a movie called Driver right now with Jeremy Piven and Caitlin Kemp. That's kind of a fun movie. It's like takes place in the 90s. Chauffeur driver picks up a group of kids, taking them to prom, but he makes a little detour along the way.
Okay.
But it's fun. But that's got a kind of a Willie's vibe to it. It's like horror comedy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been busy at work. But yeah, Instagram would be great if you want to follow me there. That'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me, and I wish you all the best with Pig Hill. Everybody go check it out. Like for
Thanks,
real.
Brad. Really appreciate it.
I want to thank Kevin again for taking time out of his day to chat with me. And again, go Broncos. But Pig Hill, this movie, I'm just going to say, my original review when I did it, I did a quick review on TikTok and Instagram. Follow me, Old Man Brad. And I said, this is dark, gritty, and it's a pretty violent movie. I feel like it ramps up the more it kind of goes through. There are some intense scenes. There's one scene with a woman in this hospital. There's some other scenes with people that have been captured, and it just doesn't hold back. And I mentioned it to Kevin. I think I said it in my previous review. I love the use of lighting and color in this movie. There are scenes where he plays a lot with dark shadows, and even the way it's filmed, it is almost filmed like I don't want to say not necessarily a police drama. No, not that. More like think a darker kind of police movie, like a Seven or something like that. Just everything just feels dark. Everything just feels, it gives you the sense of dread as you're kind of going through. And then he throws in this cool use of color, of lighting with a red lights and blue lights, just the way they're kind of integrated into scenes. I absolutely loved the look of it. Some of my favorite shots in horror movies, I know it's been used many times, but where you have the bright headlights of a car and then you have the people silhouetted in front of them, I always just love the way that looks. There's one scene in this that has that in it. The area, it's kind of almost foggy, kind of misty looking, adding to like the dark and dread of the movie. But yeah, I really like this movie. Rainey Qualley in it, she does a good job. And Shane West, this is the second movie I've seen with Shane West this year. Theater is Dead is another one. Completely different kind of movie. It's a lot more comedic. Theater is Dead. This one is just violent. The more and more you find out about these pig people, as Rainey Qualley's character is writing a book, kind of investigating, looking into the pig people and figuring out, are they really pig people? Is there something else here? And the more you dive into the story, the deeper and deeper you get as you find out more things. Just like her, you're starting to wonder, okay, wait, are they really pig people? But Pig Hill, a definite recommend for me. Go check this out. Go rent it on your favorite digital platform. Wait for it to come out on streaming sometime soon. Add Pig Hill to your watch list to go see. That will wrap up my quick thoughts on Pig Hill. So, of course, I have a double feature for you to check out with Pig Hill. I always like to do a little double feature with the movie, or at least try to do a double feature with the movie that I'm talking about. I kind of racked my brain trying to figure out a good movie that would pair with Pig Hill. And I have one that's on Shudder that I think will be a good one to check out. If you haven't seen Oddity is an Irish horror film about this woman who is grieving her sister's death, her twin sister's death. There's this wooden doll, like a life-size, like mannequin thing that shows up. And this movie, the same as Pig Hill does, it goes into some dark places. The opening of Oddity is pretty tense, and you're like, holy crap. But I think Oddity and Pig Hill would play really good together as a double feature, and that's going to be my pick for this week. So go check out both of them. Oddity is playing on Shudder. Pig Hill right now, you can rent it digitally, but go watch both of those. Well, that will do it for this episode of Tomb of Terrors. Just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episode that happens over here, whether it's the interview episodes like this, short reviews that I do, any of my series, Tales from Tubi versus any of that stuff. If you subscribe, you won't miss any of it. I will be back later this week as I will be talking the brand new Silent Night, Deadly Night that is releasing this Friday. It's a remake of the 1984 film, which I am screening the following week. But stay tuned for that coming later this week. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.